Welcome back to the channel, and happy Oscar nomination morning to all those who celebrate. We are about 5 minutes or so away here from the announcements. So I just want to do a little bit of house cleaning, like I mentioned in my previous video, my nomination predictions video. I told you I was going to let you know before nominations if I made any changes. I did make 4 changes. So we'll talk about those in a second, but also I just want to let you kind of know just the structure of this video. It's going to be completely unedited. It's going to be one long take, and then because the hope is that while I'm at work, when I'm on my lunch break, hopefully I can edit it all, throw a couple graphics in there, and then as soon as I get home, actually get this uploaded at the end of the day. That's the problem with having to work pretty much right as soon as these end. Like, I'm probably going to be a little late, but late to work, but gotta try and make do here with the nominations. So, like I said, we were going to talk about the changes. Like I said, I made 4 changes. There's 4 switches I made. The first one, I made a switch in casting. Originally, I had sentimental value in. I ended up switching it for weapons, and part of that is because in my predictions video, I pretty much was calling casting a mini best picture, and I was just kind of giving all the best picture nominees a little bit nomination boost. And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, we don't know what the casting category is, so what if that's not what it is? And if that's the case, if that's not what it is, then I kind of wanted to play it safe and just put weapons in there, so I at least, like, at worst, go 3 out of 5 in the category, but hopefully maybe 4 out of 5 if it's kind of a mixture of best picture and not best picture. Because I think weapons is, if you're going a not best picture film, weapons is the choice there in that category. The second one is in documentary. I switched from the Alabama solution to My Undesirable Friends Part 1, Last Air in Moscow. I think it's the full title of that one. And initially I was kind of hesitant to put that in because it's a documentary that's a part 1 of a documentary, is when I just read the title, so I was like, that doesn't seem like that would be nominated. And then I didn't think it would be nominated because I looked at the runtime, and it's like over 300 minutes, so it's like over 5 hours. And so I kind of was like, I don't think it's going to happen. And then I was listening to, all the pundits and stuff that I watch, and I think they all kind of had, a lot of them had it in. And I think it was Ryan Castleman, maybe, was who I was listening to, that they pointed out that this one, like, documentary, I think at like Gotham or something, and then he had a stat that it's like 10 plus years that the winner of that prize at Gotham goes on to get like nominated at the Oscars, like something crazy long streak. And so I just said that it makes too much sense, so I'm gonna put it in. The next one I made the switch was in costume design. I took out one battle after another, and I put in Hedda, and this is one that I kind of was thinking about it, and I get flashbacks of, Miss Harris Goes to Paris, a film that's like not really in the conversation in any other category, but because it's the costume branch, like, they're going to nominate it because they like it, because it's got these fancy gowns and it's about fashion, and it's, got all these things going for it. And so I just felt like Hedda made sense as kind of like a lone nominee in costume like that. It feels like occasionally we do get those in costume design. And then the last switch I made was in score. I took out Marty Supreme and I put in Begonia. This is one where I should have looked up his name before trying to say it. Is it Jurison Fendrix, I think is his name. The composer for Begonia obviously is a previous nominee for Poor Things. And so it just felt good, and it also felt like a spot where I could get Begonia another nomination, because I just didn't feel good about it only having 3, because again, that feels like it's a very strong film. I have it in like 7th in my Best Picture rank, and so it's like, I felt like it needed to get a couple more nominations. If it's not getting Plemons, then, I wanted to get it somewhere else, so got it in for score. So those are the 4 changes I made. The 5th one I was so close to making was, I was so close to putting in Fantastic Four over Wicked in production design. I legitimately thought I was going to make that switch before the doing this last night and updating everything. I was confident I was going to do it, and then I just couldn't pull the trigger. So we'll see if that ends up happening, and if I end up kind of kicking myself. But yeah, it looks like we are about, finally it's going to let me go full screen here on the video, but it looks like we're about a minute away. So one last thing that I'm going to talk about, if you haven't seen my videos before, I'm not like quick enough to notice. I'm not like the Oscar expert in Brother Bro, where I can like notice things on the fly if it gets snubbed. my brain doesn't work quite that fast, so I have everything old school written down. So apologies if you hear me kind of rustling with my papers throughout this video, but that's where I need to look and make sure that I'm catching everything. And yeah, we're about 50 seconds away, so I'll be back as soon as they start announcing. Okay, here we go. It looks like I think we're starting off with supporting actress here. So here we go. Let's see if it's Odessa Zion or if it's Ariana Grande. Elle Fanning did get in. Oh my goodness. I always say that it's a surprise. So it's both sentimental value girls. So Inga Ipsdottir Lilias got in. Amy Madigan. It is Wunmi Masaku and Tiana Taylor. So no Odessa Zion. No Ariana Grande. I say it, it's always a shock, and I didn't pick Fanning. I even Odessa Zion. That is crazy. Okay, now we've got makeup and hairstyling. Frankenstein, yep. Kokuo, I did not predict that. Sinner, so no One Battle. One Battle just got snubbed. Smashing Machine and Wicked. The Ugly Stepsister, okay. It is a back-to-back Wicked snubs already, but this is already going to be crazy. Okay, original score. Let's see, did I make the right call? Begonia, I did. What a switch. Okay, Frankenstein. Hamnet, One Battle, Sinners. Okay, perfect. One Battle, Sinners. So there's my first 5 out of 5 score, or 5 out of 5 categories in score. Live action short film. This one I have nothing, so it's Butcher Stain, Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen, Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. So I was 2 for 5 in that category, which, you know, at the end of the day isn't like the short categories. I tend to do that. Animated short film. Butterfly. Forever Green. Girl Who Cried Pearls. Retirement Plan. And Three Sisters, so 1 out of... Oh, so no Snow Bear. Interesting. Adapted screenplay. Begonia. Frankenstein. Hamnet. Should be next. Hamnet. One Battle. Train Dreams. Should be the next 2. One Battle. And if it's Train Dreams, then we've got another 5 for 5. Train Dreams. Perfect. So it did go the 5 Best Picture nominees there, so we'll see if original screenplay, if they also go the other 5, or if they do get one more in there, like a Sorry Baby. Oh, it's actually up next right now, original screenplay. Blue Moon, so that probably just took over. It was just next, and so Blue Moon over Sorry Baby. I had the feeling, but I just wanted Sorry Baby so bad. Unless we get something real crazy and there's another snub in here, but I don't think so. Marty Supreme. Because, yeah, you're going to have Sentimental Value and you're going to have Sinners as the next 2. Sentimental Value. So it was just Blue Moon over Sorry Baby. I mean, I like Blue Moon. I think, and like I said in my prediction video, I think the screenplay is the best part of the film. I just really wanted Sorry Baby. Alright, and then we've got supporting actor. Benicio del Toro, Elordi, Mescal, Penn, Skarsgård, right? Elordi, Delroy Lindo. Oh no, Mescal and Stellan Skarsgård. So Paul Mescal missed. Delroy Lindo did get in with no precursors. Sinners is gonna shatter the record. Okay, so now we're taking the break, so yeah, we're gonna go over everything that just happened real quick. Paul Mescal missing and Delroy Lindo getting in, that means Sinners is gonna get 16 nominations, because I had it predicted for 15 without Lindo. So... Delroy Lindo and Elle Fanning, both in the supporting actress, or supporting acting categories. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay. That just tells me I don't know. I can't see what time it is, so I don't know how long I've got. Best original screenplay: Blue Moon over Sorry Baby. That's again. It's just I really wanted Sorry Baby to get a nomination, but Blue Moon totally makes sense there. Adapted screenplay was the 5 Best Picture nominees. It was kind of the easy thing there. Um, what else? Then we had hair and makeup and hairstyling went 3 for 5. Ugly Stepsister and Kokohu. I didn't hear how Danielle Brooks was pronouncing it, but I'd heard people were predicting that. I didn't have the guts to do it. Ugly Stepsister, I didn't hear anyone predicting, so that's a big shock. So yeah, 3 out of 5 in that category. Wicked still doesn't have a nomination, right? Because it went back to back. Those first 2 categories were the only 2 that it could have been in, and it missed both of those. Score was a clutch switching from Marty Supreme to Begonia. That means Marty Supreme doesn't have a nomination yet either, does it? Oh, it has screenplay. Because it missed Odessa Zion. That's so crazy how in my prediction video I said it where it feels like the supporting actress, the first name, it's always a surprise, and so I went Odessa Zion. I didn't consider the fact that F is pretty early in the alphabet too, so Elle Fanning, that is awesome. Sentimental Value is probably going to overperform, and that makes me think, so now you're going to have Fanning, Ipsdottir, Skarsgård, and Reinsva, and so I feel a little bad about pulling it from casting. That feels like it's gonna get a lot of nominations. So that's where we got for score, and then live action short 2 out of 5. That's predictable. Because it's how unpredictable it is. Honestly, I feel pretty good about getting Friend of Dorothy and 2 People Exchanging Slivas. Oh, I didn't even recognize. So Rock Paper Scissors missed, and Rock Paper Scissors I think was the everyone was predicting it because it won BAFTA last year in that category. I did kind of have a little bit of hesitancy because I was thinking, who cares about like last year's BAFTA winner? Like maybe the Oscars are like, oh, that already had its thing, or it had its time or something. And then animated short only ended up getting The Girl Who Cried Pearls. Because we had Butterfly, Forever Green, Retirement Plan, and Three Sisters. So yeah, the shorts are what kills it every single year. You always go in with these dreams of having these crazy Oscar runs, the nomination predictions where you get like everything, and then the shorts end up kind of slashing those dreams every time. Okay, it looks like we went to black, so we're going to come back here in a minute. Hopefully. Man, it feels like there's still so many categories. Seems like they kind of took that break in a weird spot. didn't quite get to the bulk of the nominees. Okay, here we go. Assuming we're gonna jump off here in like documentary or something, like kind of the. Oh, so it is going casting. So here we go. So let's see if I made a good call on polling. Okay, so Hamnet, we'll see if I made the call on polling. Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, good nomination. One Battle, Sinner, Secret Agent, okay. And then Sinner, so no weapons. So I made the right call on polling Sentimental Value, but I picked the wrong film to put in. And it was still just a best picture. Costume design, Avatar, Fire and Ash. I didn't even have that in like my alternatives. Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, whoa, and Sinners. So again, no Wicked. Is it going to get shut out? What is happening? Original song. Dear Me, Diane Warren, Relentless, of course. Golden, which means no Girl in the Bubble. I lied to you. Sweet Dreams of Joy, that's like the opera song. Sweet Dreams. And Train Dreams. So I think Wicked is getting completely shut out. Because this is crazy. Documentary. Oh, the Alabama Solution, I shouldn't have pulled it. And Come See Me in the Good Light. Cutting Through Rocks. Mr. Nobody Against Putin. And The Perfect Neighbor. So, no My Undesirable Friends, no Cover Up, no 2,000 Meters to Andrivka. So that's a 2 out of 5 category. That's crazy. Documentary short film. All the Empty Rooms. Armed Only with a Camera, which means no All the Walls. Children No More Were and Are Gone. I thought about that, but I didn't pull the trigger. Devil is Busy. And Perfectly Estrangedness. Okay, so 3 out of 5, not bad there. I'll take that. International. Let's see what happens here with no other choice. The Secret Agent. It was just an accident. Sentimental Value. Surratt. And The Voice of Hinder Job. That is crazy. A 5 for 5 category. No other choice. Animated feature. This should be pretty easy. Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters. And then Little Amelie and Zootopia 2. Yep, and then Zootopia 2. There's no chance that that gets snubbed. Zootopia 2. So, back-to-back 5 out of 5s there. Not bad. Production design. Frankenstein. Hamnet. Marty Supreme. One Battle. Wicked is getting nothing. Wicked is snubbed in every category. Film editing. Holy cow. No Frankenstein in editing, so that probably means it's going to be Sentimental Value. Sinners hasn't missed anything, so I think it's still on track for 16 nominations, but no Frankenstein in editing. That was the one I was least confident in, so that makes sense. Sound design, we're going to have F1, so no Avatar. Frankenstein in over it. One Battle. Sinners. And is it Surratt? And Surratt. Cool. So yeah, Frankenstein in over Avatar. Avatar wasn't getting in any of the precursors. I probably should have not predicted it, but still went for it. Now we got visual effects. This is where obviously you're going to get Avatar, because that's your winner. F1. Jurassic World Rebirth. The Lost Bus still got into, so what missed? So Sinners. So it's Superman. That was one of my locks in the category. Just didn't get in. I had the feeling about Jurassic World. I wasn't going to pull that trigger. Cinematography, we've got Frankenstein. This is where is it Hamnet or nope, Marty Supreme. So that means One Battle, Sinners, and Train Dreams should be pretty easy here the rest of the way. Sinners and Train Dreams. Train Dreams, cool. I still can't believe Wicked is getting shut out. Oh, now we're to the top. So actor in a lead role. Timothy Chalamet. Leo. There's no way Michael B. Jordan gets snubbed now. After all of this. Ethan Hawke, B. Jordan, Wagner Moura. B. Jordan. And Wagner Moura. Sorry, Jesse Plemons, like, you were so very clearly the strong number 6, but someone had to get snubbed, so. Okay, now we're into actress, picture, and director. Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne. And is it Kate Hudson or Chase Infinity right here? Kate Hudson. Renata Reinsva and Emma Stone, right? So 5 for 5. I got the category right, but really would have wanted Chase Infinity in there instead. Directing, here we go. So it is Chloe Zhao. Is it Jafar Panahi? Nope, it is Safdie. So no Panahi. Paul Thomas Anderson. Trier and Coogler. Trier and Coogler. So yeah, Sinners is going to get 16. And I'm nervous about it was just an accident in picture now. Is it going to be F1? This is crazy. So let's just start easy with Begonia. Perfect. Is it Frankenstein or F1 next? F1. So no, it was just an accident. And then everything should be pretty simple from here. Frankenstein should be next. Perfect. Hamnet should be next. Yep, Hamnet. And then it was just an accident's going to get snubbed, so we're going to go straight to Marty Supreme. Yep. No, it was just an accident, so that ended up just being international and screenplay, right? One battle should be next. One battle. Crazy that it was just an accident, just kind of fell off like that at the end. Secret Agent. Then should be easy. Sentimental Value, Sinners, Train Dreams to round up here. Sentimental Value. So I believe that does make Sinners 16 nominations, the most all time. It should be, if my math is right. Obviously, doing all that math and doing that all on the fly, so don't know for sure if I was right there. But okay, that should be the last nomination, correct? Obviously, we're not going to hide anything after Best Picture. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's the end there. Let's see, what time do I have? 6:49. Okay, I think I got maybe like 5 minutes to just kind of go over some of the things. So yeah, F1 in picture. That was my number 11, so it makes sense. Wicked, that does mean it got completely shut out, right? It did not get a single nomination. Chloe Zhao did get him director. Coogler got in director. It wasn't as like close as people were. Maybe it was close, but Safdie in over Panahi was my one miss there. 5 for 5 in Best Actress with Hudson being in over Infinity. Best Actor was a 5 for 5 category with Noah Clemens. Supporting Actress, Fanning in over Odessa Zion. I never would predict that. I had Fanning down in like 8th place, most likely to get nominated. Supporting Actor, Lindo over Mescal. Also never would have predicted. That's the same thing. Lindo I had in 8th in that category. Original Screenplay, Blue Moon over Sorry Baby. Makes sense, but again, just kind of makes me a little sad. Adapted Screenplay was a 5 for 5. International was a 5 for 5. Animated a 5 for 5. Documentary was a 2 for 5. Cutting Through the Rocks, Come See Me in the Good Light. Alabama Solution. I shouldn't have pulled Alabama Solution. I would have had a 3 for 5 in that category if I didn't make a last second tweak. Casting ended up being a mini Best Picture, but it was Secret Agent over Sentimental Value. Which Secret Agent I didn't think really had much of a shot. Editing, Sentimental Value in over Frankenstein. So Sentimental Value, it was got more nominations than I was predicting. At least 2 more, right? 2 more nominations, but still couldn't get that casting. Cinematography was a 5 for 5, and production design was a 4 for 5 because again Wicked. So we got one battle in there. So what did one battle end up with? Probably like 13 nominations, maybe 14. Costume design. I made the right call of pulling one battle there, but I put in Hedda instead of Marty Supreme. And then Avatar in costume design. I didn't even think that is a possibility. Makeup, Kukohu. I need to learn how to pronounce that if we're going to be talking about it in the next month here. Ugly Stepsister. Again, I saw no one talking about that. Visual effects. No Superman, but Jurassic World Rebirth in is crazy. Frankenstein over Avatar in sound. Score was a 5 for 5. That was a good switch. Pulling Marty and putting in Begonia. Of course, Diane Warren gets in for song, but again, no Wicked. I'm pretty sure that's Sweet Dreams because I remember I listened to all of the Oscar-nominated songs. I believe that's the opera song. Documentary short, missed on Heartbeat and All the Walls. I think Perfectly Estrangedness. I was listening to the next Best Picture podcast. I think that's the one that's like about the donkeys, and so I'm kind of excited to watch that. Animated short, 1 out of 5 only had The Girl with the Pearls, Three Sisters, Retirement Plan for Evergreen, and Butterfly. And then live action short was a 2 for 5 category. Just had Friend of Dorothy, 2 people exchanging saliva. So let's look at my changes. I think I went 2 for 4, right? No. I was only 1 for 4 in the changes, but 2 of them it didn't matter. because what I originally had didn't get nominated either. But I did switch out of Alabama Solution, so that kind of is unfortunate. Lost me, I guess, a point there. But again, in the shorts and like documentaries, the ones that I'm not familiar with, it's whatever. But yeah, so those were the Oscar nominations. It wasn't as crazy as I was expecting. There was a couple, obviously, Elle Fanning, Wicked completely getting shut out. I think is going to be the biggest talking point. I think a lot of people are going to be talking about that. Um, F1 and over. It was just an accident. It's probably going to get a reaction from some people, but I think unfortunately we should have seen the writing, and I just I clung on too long. I held on too long, in that. But yeah, there was some surprises, but I was honestly kind of coming in, and I guess there was a decent amount of surprises because Delroy Lindo is a big surprise as well. Um, but yeah, that's looking at just trying to and Safdie getting a director, that's good for Safdie. I was kind of predicting the snub. I realized I didn't really talk about it a whole ton in my prediction video. I was kind of just under the impression of maybe he was gonna get, like, even though the film was better received, he was still gonna get the Uncut Gems treatment and kind of just get snubbed by the director's branch. But obviously not the case. They got him in there over Panahi. So. Yeah, crazy morning. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down below in the comments how you did on your predictions. What predictions are you most excited for? Which predictions made you the most, or which nominations are you most excited for? Which nominations made you the most upset? Let me know all of that down below in the comments. Again, hopefully my plan is I'll get this uploaded later today after when I get home from work, as long as I can get this all edited in time. But yeah, hopefully we'll get this up quick and hear from you guys in the comment section. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great day.